Hello and welcome to section 1 of Mr Brightside by The Killers. Before we begin, it's probably worth mentioning that we're playing the song exactly the same as the guitarist in The Killers, but for their version they actually tuned the guitar down by a semitone. So if you try and play along with the record, it's not going to sound the same. It's going to sound slightly out. We're playing it here, but it actually sound on the record like this. So it's just worth mentioning that if you want to eventually play along with the record, you'll have to tune your guitar down by a semitone. Okay, so the beginning of the song comes with this sort of really interesting riff. We're in D major. Now the riff is quite tricky. Your hand is in sort of an unfamiliar position, maybe compared to some of the chords that you've learned previously. And we're also quite high up the guitar as well. We're kind of around the 17th fret up here. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at where to place the fingers just to begin with for the chords, and then we'll look at how we're going to pick that chord. So we're going to take our middle finger and place it on fret 17 of the A string, that's here. Then we're going to take our index finger on the D string and place it on fret 16, okay? So we've got this kind of sound here. We'll take our ring finger and we're going to go to the B string and we're going to place that on 17 as well. And then this is where it gets a little bit tricky. With our little finger, we're going to put this here on fret 19. So it's quite a sort of funny way of putting the fingers, but you can just have a look there. We'll just pluck through the notes. Okay. And we're going to have to try and arch our fingers so we don't kind of mute any of the strings, because we've got the open E at the bottom here, so we don't want any kind of noises. So we'll get that shape. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the picking pattern that we use, and it might be worth just playing this one chord to begin with, just to get your right hand working in the right way. So this is what it sounds like. It goes. And basically the picking pattern is like this. So we go from the A string, so it's down, down, and then up on the G string. And then we're going to go down again on the D. Okay, so we go, and again. That's the first half. And basically what we're doing is the pick is going in the direction of where the next string is. So we go down, down, and at this point we know we're going back to the D again, so we go up, rather than going all the way down and then having to make that move back up again. So we need to make it flow and go. Okay, then the same applies to the second half of the picking pattern, where we go all the way to the E string. We're going to go all the way down, so it goes. Okay, so the whole thing together. Oops. Now this is probably going to be the hardest part, it's just getting this picking pattern down. But once you've mastered it, this is also used in the next section as well. So once you've got it, you're going to be able to play both sections probably quite easily. So let's just have a little go at that slowly. Down, down, up, down, and then ups for the second half. And that's on the E, B, G, and D strings. So this can be like a little exercise in itself. So you probably want to just keep repeating this until you get really comfortable with it. So here we go. Start off slow, and as you get more used to it, you can start speeding it up. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you this from a different angle, this picking pattern. So we're going to go down, down, up, down, and then all ups. And that's on the E, the B, the G, and the D, all the way down. And then we go back to the A again to begin it. And what we can do is, to practice this, we'll just keep this shape going in the left hand. Forget about the left hand for now, and just concentrating on getting this. The other thing I do is I use my little finger here to what you call anchor. So instead of kind of hovering in midair like this, where you're likely to kind of hit wrong strings, this anchor kind of keeps your picking thumb and index finger in a more sort of secure position. So if you give that a little go, you've got a little bit of support there. Oops. The best thing to do is keep practicing it until it becomes comfortable, and then gradually speed it up. This is just an exercise in itself, but once you've mastered this and you've got the right hand, the rest of the song is going to be a lot easier to play. Okay, so that's the picking pattern, and that's the first chord, which is actually a D add 9 chord. And what we do is we're going to change the bass note of that note to the C sharp, which is here. Now obviously we can't move our finger like this because that's really awkward, so what he does is he takes his index finger and he bars these two strings, so he's still holding this note down here on the 16th fret to the D string, but he's now going to go and bar it, so we can hold down this note here on the 16th of the A string. So it becomes this to this, and that's the note that the bass guitar will be playing as well. Okay, and as we see with the right hand, it's exactly the same picking pattern, so once we've got that, we don't need to worry about it anymore. Okay, now the next chord is actually called a G major 13, and basically it's the same again, but we're going to change the bass note to a G. So at this point, we've got our middle finger sort of doing nothing at the moment, and this is going to take over on this note here, which is fret 16 of the D string, and we're going to use our index finger to go to the G note for the bass, and we've got this kind of shape. This is going to feel a little bit alien to begin with, but once you sort of practice it, it'll become a lot more natural, and you'll find, because these two fingers, the pinky and the ring finger, they just stay where they are, and it's kind of these two fingers doing all the work. So we cut to here, and then we got this. And again, exactly the same picking pattern. The only difference is that the first note is on the E string this time. We're missing the A string out. Okay, so let's just do the whole pattern together with the 3 chords. Bar, and then a quick switch. Okay, I'm just going to run that one more time, a little bit more slower. This is the kind of tempo you want to be practicing it, making sure that every note is really clean like this. And once you've mastered that, that's when you start speeding it up. What you'll find is that the changes are quite difficult to run smooth, because you're at the end of the riff, you're getting to this note, and then you're having to switch really quick. You see, so you might want to just practice going from the end of one chord to the beginning of another. And this one's quite tricky, like that. That's basically it, and that runs throughout the whole of the verse. I mentioned the chord names there, which all sound kind of jazzy and stuff, but when the guy was writing it, I don't think he was thinking about the sort of jazz harmony behind it. I think he was more just writing a riff that sounded good to him. So I wouldn't worry too much about getting bogged down in sort of guitar jazz harmony theory, and just kind of thinking about the riff in itself. It just sounds really nice. And one thing to mention is, before we go to the next section, there's quite a jump from here to where we're going to go next, down to the 7th fret. So we kind of end the riff a little bit early, just so we've got enough time to get down to the further down the neck. So we're going to go like this. And then on this last one, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 and not play the D string, because this gives us just enough time to get down to the 7th fret down here. So it would be, and we've got enough time, got like a note's worth just to get down to this position down here. Okay, so the main aim of this is to kind of get the positions right with the left hand, get your picking hand playing that pattern, because that's going to continue into the next section. Start slow, take it easy, and then build at the speed as you get more comfortable with it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a little play along just with this opening riff. Okay, here we go.